Join us every Sunday for an episode of the Digital Business Forum
at 2 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. MST, 5 p.m. EST, and 10 p.m. GMT.
This forum will feature successful, experienced digital business owners with inspiring information to help you make that informed decision about starting your own digital business. By starting your own online business, you will have more free time to take control of your life, create generational wealth, retire early, and make money from anywhere in the world with just your laptop, phone, and internet. If this resonates with you, don't miss this Sunday. Digital Business Forum. Be informed, be inspired.
Hello, hi everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to the Digital Business Forum. Be informed, be inspired. We are back again. So we are here every Sunday, 2 p.m. We are sorry, we are late, almost 27 minutes. So sorry about that. And if you're first time to see me, my name is Dorothy Nakalema and I'm from Uganda. Currently, I live in the United States and a proud digital business coach, a mom, a wife, and yeah, that's a little bit about me. So today's topic, it's really interesting because one of our hosts, is the one who is going to break down for us. A lot of people think like digital is, we actually want to understand how did digital come, and you have to understand that it came here to stay. So how are you going to leverage on it? Because a lot of businesses globally, they are now embracing it. So before we proceed, let us our David introduce himself. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Dorothy. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning from wherever you're watching us in the world. My name is David. I'm an advisor on cybersecurity and a digital business owner here in the US. We come here every Sunday, as usual, to inform you and inspire you about starting your own digital business. We're all about digital businesses, and we're saying there's never been a better time to jump on the digital era. So with that introduction, Dorothy.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Before you go, how has been your week?
Oh, my week was wonderful. It was nice and slow, but interesting things to learn. A lot of our brothers and sisters out there are celebrating Eid, so
Yeah.
happy Eid wherever you are. We hope that you enjoy it, and whatever it is that you were looking for during this fasting season, may the good Lord that you believe in grant you your wishes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So my week, mine, it has been fantastic. I added a milestone in my business, so that is a very big win for me. And today I learned something. Actually, today I learned something. I was invited. They invited me on what one of my mentees. He's a pastor, and he invited me somewhere. And guess what? There's something I've learned. Hope I felt like I could come and share it with you guys here. The way we are all, most of people, they are there looking. They're actually, if you're watching us right now, you're just looking at us, but you're not looking for something. So they're two different. Like the pastor was talking about, quit looking at and start looking for. So if you are looking at us, it means you're just looking. And you guys, this is what happened. He had almost, I think, what, $100, $200. And then he was like, did you come to look at, or you came to look for? Guess what? Most of us, we stayed seated. And I think like 3 people stood up and went grab that $100. What does that mean? brothers and my sisters, whatever we come here and we share, do not look at us. Just look for something. Okay. So that's what I learned actually. So my week ended in power. Okay. So, and as we proceed, so David, you have been in technology for some good time, more than even 50. Oh, no. I think it's about 20 plus years, right?
25 years.
25 years, yes. You've been in technology for 25 years. Basically, how has been like the digital era from computerization to AI-driven transformation reshaped the way individuals, businesses, and social societies operate?
Okay. Thank you very much, Dorothy.
You're welcome.
That's a very interesting angle to look at it. We can't deny definitely that technology came in for so many that were unborn. It looked like, I mean, for those that were born during the eras where technology came in, it didn't look like it would affect us. And for so many that have grown up to embrace the technology, there's almost no way you can run away from it. But the best way to look at digitalization, or how things are shaping society and how society has turned out to be, is by kind of getting back to the beginning of things, so that we can understand the layers through which we have been affected, and how and where we are going and what to expect. Okay, so if you have that kind of background, I believe it will throw more light, and it will have more impact to whoever is watching right now, to have a better understanding of what hit them or what's coming. So sure, yes, here is a simple breakdown of the digital era in 3 major phases of development. Okay, I'm just going to throw it down here in 3 phases, so that we can have something to relate to, depending on when you were born and how you've been affected, so you can understand better where you are going. So I'll look at the 3 layers as the computerization phase. The computerization phase, I'll call that the birth of digital technologies, where things began. Okay, then we can look at the internet and connectivity phase. And then we can finally look at the intelligent digital transformation phase. And this is pretty much where we are. Okay, so let me go back to the computerization phase. And this is between 1940s and the 1970s. A lot of us were not born during this period, but there are people that are living today that can bear witness to what I'm going to say that happened during this time. And that's the birth of digital technologies. Now, the key characteristics here were the invention and use of early computers. Okay, analog processes began transitioning to digital mainframes. It means that all these processes were, for instance, I'll give you an example of banking, where for those that enjoyed banking in the early days, you remember that you used to go to a bank with a bank book, and you talk to a teller. They'll have to go in the back office and pull out something like this. This is the technology they used. They would pull up a file, okay? And in that file was, I don't know how to call it. Can I call it a ledger or something? It had your information and your deposits, and all the transactions were in a file. Oh my goodness. I remember the very first bank account I had. I remember this happening, okay? I was a little man, and I had an account. But I remember whenever you would go to the bank, and I think my parents used this as experimental, so I could learn something about how systems work. And I could see they would pull up a file and they would write in that file. They would give you some money, you know. So you understand what I mean when I say that analog processes began transitioning to digital through mainframes. So after that period, they developed mainframes. So the customized, I'm talking about the computerization phase, where things were now beginning to change. It didn't take long before we started using computers, but we're seeing these computers mainly in big institutions. And mainly it was in these accounting areas, okay? I know for banks for sure to have taken on at that time. So data storage moved from paper, okay, to magnetic tapes and punch cards. So things started to change a bit. And this is all in the 1940s and 1970s. I was born in the mid-70s, 1975. So that makes me a mid-aged gentleman. Now, imagine, so when I'm talking 75, I'm talking maybe 80s, the early 80s, that's about 6 years. And back in Africa, obviously, we hadn't computerized that much. So these technologies were in the first worlds, but they had started coming in, and we started seeing these in, we started seeing some of these transformations in the early 80s for those that, you know, and I'm referring to those that were in the other parts of the world, the third world, the second world. But for the people that were in the first worlds, things had moved on a little faster. So what was the impact of this computerization phase and birth of the digital technology? So digital tools began replacing manual labor in data processing, okay? I just gave an example of the bank. Government and large corporations were the main users, you know? So it was about government, and it was about the big corporations, because these were the guys handling big data. And, you know, and it was all analog. It was all on paper. And now they were trying to move it to computers to try and make processes a little faster, okay? Now, this laid the foundation for information technology, IT, okay? Now, for those of you that are in IT like myself, this is the sweet spot. So you're seeing that there's IT, and now you're going to be manipulating devices to process data. Okay, interesting. So that was a phase, very interesting phase. That was then, you know,
so excuse me, David. Yes. So you are trying to give us a background. Why is it, you know, digital is on a gold rush, right?
Yes. Why right now we call it the digital gold rush? Why is it the gold rush? We all know that life has presented eras. Okay, there was the Stone Age. Okay, where stones were the tools of the time. Okay, you wanted to cut through or you know or to skin an animal, you had to use a stone. That was the tool. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, but that was the Stone Age. Then we went through all these other ages that I don't want to go into because this is not an anthropology class or whatever. But you know, there were all these phases. So I want us to understand.
Because the reason why I asked it's because there's what you've you know just submitted, and I'm like, I have no idea of that. I'm like, it seems it's a background of something.
Yes, because yes, I want you to understand where you jumped on, because many people take on. Yes, many people, many people, and such is life. We jump onto things, okay? We don't know where they're coming from. We jump onto them and only jump off before understanding the destination.
Got you.
You know, it's like taking a bus ride, not from the station, but somewhere along the way. You don't know where it's coming from. And when you see it going a certain direction, you have an idea of where it's going, but you don't know where it's ending sometimes. So you might see
You
a
just
bus
know that
somewhere in
if I
between.
take this BART, I'm going
Yes,
here.
it's
So
going in this direction. You say, is this the BART to San Francisco? Somebody will say yes, and you hop on. So when you hop on, you go, hoping that it's actually going to San Francisco, but you probably are interested in jumping off in Oakland. You know what I mean? So as far as you're concerned, you're going to jump off in Oakland, and fair enough. If that's your final destination, there's nothing to worry about. Well, we lost Dorothy. I hope she resolves her technology issues and joins us. Dorothy, can you hear me? There you are.
yes, I can
What's
hear you.
happening to your IT?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is live. Yeah, that's why we are live. So
All right.
that is technology. That is one of the reasons why we do live. So now you've seen us live. It's not a recorded show.
Okay.
But anyway, it's technologies, but we good.
So anyway, Dorothy, I was saying that it's always good to understand where things come from and what the destination is, such that you can take advantage of that ride. Okay, much as you know that it might get you to Oakland, but knowing that it can take you to San Francisco makes things a little better. You know, at least there is another city in between until the final destination. So next time you want to go to San Francisco, you know for sure that that bus will take you to San Francisco. And that's why I'm trying to bring you from
The background of digital.
from that background, so that you understand and don't look at certain things as those things are for the corporates or for the banks. Because you've seen computers in banks, you think those are the only people that can digitize, and those are the people that enjoy these kinds of that can leverage technologies. So I want you to understand where things came from and what the purpose was. And as we grow, to understand where you are and to know what you can take advantage of, and to know what kind of destinations we're looking at. Okay. So anyway, to go back to the second layer of things, initially I looked at computerization phase, 1940s to 1970s, the birth of the digital technology, and you know, how it transformed big data for banks, government, and corporates, and you know, how it laid the foundation for IT. Okay, so now we are saying, okay, we have now information technology. It has moved from just paper and pen. Now we are using computers to generate data and to process data. So we go on to another stage, and that's the birth of the internet. And with the internet, I'm talking about connectivity. Big time connectivity. It's a phase between the 1980s and 2000, the millennium. Okay, new millennium. So there we're having you know, connectivity as a phase, the internet, and the rise of networks. Okay, and the web. That the rise of these networks created the web, what we call the World Wide Web, or the you know, your internet, the World Wide Web, referred to as the World Wide Web. It means interconnectivity of all these computers. Now, emergence of personal computers and client servers, server models. Okay, this is the time when we started seeing servers and client computers. Okay, but we also saw people get into computerization, personal computers. Now the computer came from the corporations where we knew computers to be, and now it's coming down to you and I. Okay, where we can own a computer and have it at home. Used to sit somewhere in a corner like the television in the house, and we know the family has a computer, and you can use it to learn a few things. For many of us, it was about games. Okay, you learn your first computer game there, but you know, very limited time, because the big man in the house was using it for something more grand. So we see personal computers coming. Development of the internet, it's growing. You know, the World Wide Web, and this is in between the 1990s. Let me call it the 1990s, because this era is 1980s to 2000. So in the mid, in between the 80s and 2000, in those 90s, we saw the development of emails. Okay, we were used to, writing mail and going to a post office, and that was the communication.
You should
So
take
now,
2 minutes hearing from somebody in abroad, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so now, during this period of time, the 1990s, there are so many people out there that heard of Hotmail. Okay, Hotmail, hotmail.com, yahoo.com. These were the first public domains that people jumped onto. Yahoo, Hotmail, Netscape.com.
What about Gmail?
Gmail is new school.
Is new?
Oh yeah, Gmail is new. But I mean, in these eras, Gmail wasn't heard of at that time. So there was the Yahoos, there were the Hotmails, there were the Netscapes, America Online, AOL. Okay, so these were big players. And
Well, now digital started.
yes, so now because we had PCs coming to our homes, it has moved from the corporations. Now we can own them. They're becoming they were still expensive, but a little affordable. Families could afford them. So, communication now moved to mail because more people now could afford, and therefore, the internet was here, so we could use that internet to communicate. So we see email, okay, and we see the World Wide Web, and mostly what was its purpose. We were going out there looking at, there was information, there was news, there was pretty, it was pretty much information about the companies. If they had products or services, you could, go on the web and see this. And it was an easy phase, I would say, of the web. So information started, coming up on the web that you could look up things. Okay, rather than go to directories, now you could find something, you could search something on the web, or get information about your travels. For those that for those travel agencies.
That is the 1990s.
Yeah, I'm talking about the 1980s, and now we're going to 2000 until the millennium. I'm talking between 1980 to 2000. It's a long period of time, but there and in between, we are seeing computers coming to our personal homes. We are looking at the web, providing as much information than before. We are looking at emails. More people are now communicating. But again, it was still, you want to communicate, you don't have a PC at home, you could still find a cafe somewhere, an internet cafe somewhere where you...
I remember my first Facebook back home was from cafe.
You go to an internet cafe, you create an email, have your username and password, you keep that. You don't have a PC at home, it's fine, but you have an email. So once in a while, it's business, you go out there and pay some little money. Well, from the part of the world we came from, you pay some little money, sit on a PC and check your mail, okay? And you have communication from schools if you're looking for college somewhere, or if you have communication for travel. All these things you now use email, because the developed world was now online, and slowly the world was catching on, and that's the phase. So what was the impact here? Democratization of technology. Now everybody can own something. Individuals and small businesses could now access digital tools. Okay, what a nice time. New industries emerged, e.g. e-commerce. So now e-commerce became a thing. Okay, because initially we were trading physically. I have to drive to go to town, enter a store and buy something. Okay, now things are changing a little bit. Between 1980 and 2000s, things are changing a little bit. We are seeing the emergence of e-commerce, electronic commerce, let me call it that. So it means you can go online, buy things, and do trade with a company. Not everybody had digital payment systems, because all these things now started coming up, but slowly people would still count on some analog, processes like write a check or money order or a transfer. So money could move using some analog methods, but at least products and services would be procured or bought and enjoyed. So we are seeing e-commerce coming, marketing. Now a lot of companies are doing their marketing online, digital marketing, and we started seeing social media. So these are the industries that came up: e-commerce, digital marketing, and we're seeing social media developing. Okay, social media is coming up, the likes of Facebooks. Social media is now developing. Now, the digital economy became increasingly interconnected. The global economy became increasingly interconnected. It means now people in Europe could trade with people in the US, vice versa, and people in Africa, Asia. We start seeing a connected world, okay? Where now I can do business beyond my next town or my nearby state. Now I can do business in Canada, can do business in Europe, can do business in Asia or Australia. So we are seeing the global economy become increasingly interconnected. That's the middle age of the phase I'm talking about, and I'm talking about the internet and connectivity phase. So now I want to bring in something very interesting as we move forward. And whoever is watching us, wherever you're watching from, I've thrown this background out there so that you can understand and also place yourself where you started knowing things, where you started realizing what was going on. Okay? Was it in the late 70s where we were born? Was it in the mid 80s or 90s where things had started becoming common day, technologies like, everybody has a PC or there's a PC at home and there are PCs all over the place. You could go to a cafe. Where did you jump onto this? Okay. Where did you start understanding what is really going on? And for you to understand where things were coming from, I want you to understand or get an understanding of where things are going. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I want to bring in the intelligent digital transformation phase. Okay. Mm-hmm. And now this is a phase between 2010 and present. Today, between about 2010 and now, we are looking at the intelligent digital transformation phase. So now, what's involved here? We have data, we have artificial intelligence, AI, and everything connected, everything. So we have IoT. You've heard of the Internet of Things. Now, the Internet of Things means everything you can imagine is now connected. From your lights, from your doors, I'm talking your refrigerator, I'm talking anything. Call it your gas stoves. I mean, all these stoves we have in our houses, they have an element of connectivity. You can turn it off, turn it on the way you want, using your phone, using the internet, using your connection at the workplace. You can turn on the AC at home. You can turn off anything now. You can draw curtains. You can lock doors. You can do pretty much anything. You can start your motor of your car, from your bedroom. You can start that engine and find the car warm. Okay, just walk into a warm car. All these things. So we are seeing the intelligent digital transformation phase being between 2010 and present day. We have data, we have artificial intelligence, and we have everything connected. So the key characteristics here, the explosion of big data. Mm-hmm. Okay, now data is a thing. We have, since time, we have been collecting information, as much information as you can imagine. and uploading it. Every day you upload something, and everything you upload is up there. So big data became an issue. Data became a commodity. And now it has been used as a commodity to feed into artificial intelligence. Because if you want to ask yourself, where does ChatGPT, Pilot, is it Copilot from Microsoft?
Yeah.
DeepSeek, all these AI tools that we see online, where do they draw all this knowledge from? It's information that has been generated by us humans, and it's been put out there. Now, the smart mind is one that can be able to leverage these tools and put them to use to either do business, do something for yourself. So rather than look at, condemn, ask yourself, how do I leverage and take advantage of? So this is what I wanted you to look at. This is what I wanted you to draw from this conversation, that if you look at these phases and where you jumped on, I want you to understand where we are at and where we are going, so that it helps you to make some kind of informed decision moving forward on whether you are going to use these technologies or you're going to be left behind, because the tsunami is here, you got to hold on to something, otherwise it will take you. So I was talking about the explosion of big data, AI, machine learning, talking about the Internet of Things, IoT. I gave an example of connected doors, connected cars, connected devices. Name it, you can have it connected. Even what you think you can't connect, trust me, for as long as you can, it can draw some electricity from somewhere, you can plug it to some kind of, some kind of connected plug, and you can control it somehow. We have connected plug. We have smart plugs that you can put in the mains and control them to turn on power and turn it off. So even if your TV is not that smart, you can plug it into you can connect it to a smart plug and control it from anywhere. So you still have some level of control, and that. So we are also seeing cloud. We are seeing the cloud coming, because initially, if I'm to take you back to the first phase, where data was being stored now electronically on tape drives and punch cards. Now we are seeing, during this intelligent digital transformation phase, we are looking at the cloud coming. It means now you can leverage off of cloud storage resources. Everybody that's on Gmail knows that you have a Google Drive, okay? It's part of the Gmail package. For as long as you create an account with Gmail, you have a drive. So that drive is out there for you. Whether you're using it or not, it's out there for you, so you can store your data. A lot of mail hosts are giving away some kind of storage space, okay? Companies are taking advantage of these as well. And there's so many other cloud providers for several other solutions. But again, I just gave an example for storage. Then we are seeing mobile first business models. So we're seeing cloud and we're seeing mobile. Now, the other thing that came in with this intelligent digital transformation, we're seeing cybersecurity and digital trust become crucial. Okay? So we are seeing the transformation, AI coming in, and we're seeing how it's, its potential and how, it needs to be regulated. So we are seeing so many things coming to make the entire process a little easier and comfortable for us. So we are seeing cybersecurity, to take care of digital trust, okay? Because if everything is out there, I'm keeping my data in the cloud, I'm trading online, what are the chances that I'm not going to be I won't fall a victim of fraud. Okay, so we are seeing all these kinds of things coming, to kind of regulate and have things systematic. So, and then, so we're looking at what kind of impact, the kind of impact this intelligent digital transformation phase has had. Businesses and societies undergo rapid digital transformation. Okay, so businesses have had to adapt to the new changes. Because remember, I talked about the second phase where we started seeing, the networking, emails coming in. We're looking at marketing, social media. Companies now are saying, okay, it looks like these things are here and here to stay. A lot of people are on their phones. I keep giving an example of society now. Everybody is looking at their phones. Even when you have the TV running and there's a beautiful show, the news is running, people are not paying attention. They're looking and scrolling. So companies are realizing that, hey, you know what? People are not on their TV sets anymore. People are on their phones. So what do? We find them where they are. We find them on social media. So companies have decided to jump on and leverage digital technologies, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, YouTube, X, call it whatever it is, TikTok, and they're saying that's where our people are, because our people are on their phones. So we're going to find them there and try to do what we do best, and that's e-commerce. We'll sell them something and try to turn a profit. So that's the impact that businesses and societies have undergone rapid digital transformation to kind of cope up. Okay, businesses and societies, I mentioned, and I'm coming back to that. So,
David, before you proceed from there, you said businesses, right?
Right.
A lot of people, when we say digital business, they think like online business. They think like they should just have to invest their money and then sit down and then money comes in because it's online, because it's digital. But then you mentioned about business. That means they're leveraging the digital platforms to use them into their business.
Correct.
So our viewers out there, if you hear the word digital, if you hear the word online business, anything like that, it has either a product or a service. So you can go ahead, David.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, I'm looking at the impact. So all these things have had some kind of an impact. Okay, if businesses have been impacted and society has been impacted, who is society? You and I. You and I form the society we are talking about. So these rapid digital transformations, I mean, mobile phones have come in. Everybody now is connected on some kind of a, smartphone. We are getting everything we want. Businesses, like we said, have gone through the transformation. It means even the news houses have now gone digital. They're streaming. Okay, you can watch Fox News, CNN, BBC. Anything.
David, you know that I get to realize that when you go to Facebook, you go to Facebook Live, it's almost 60% there are pastors there streaming live.
There you go. So those are churches. So now you're doing church online, society. You're doing church online. Initially, where you had to go and attend church in person, sit in the pews, and listen to the word. It's happening online. It's happening on Facebook. So those transformations have come in. Now, automation, that's another impact. Automation, personalization, you want things a certain way to suit a certain purpose, and smart systems drive efficiency. Okay, so people have become very smart and they're creating very intelligent systems to drive efficiency. Okay, I'll give you an example of what happens in some digital businesses. Because I mean, if you've chosen to do business online, you're leveraging digital technologies, but there's a lot more you can take advantage of besides the product or service that you're dealing with, or the consulting that you're doing, whether you're talking to people or just, passing them through a process to some kind of means or end. You are working with so many technologies, and now the level of utilization is way out of the world, because you can do email campaigns, meaning emails are taking place without you clicking a button. Okay, so that level of automation, that emails are coming in and going out, and you don't have to click, because of the automation and the systems. If there are teams out there, the people that have sat down, designed solutions, and they say, okay, we have an email campaign solution. You can plug it into your system and it will do the magic for you. Okay, so that makes you more efficient. And a lot of like the sales funnels, people have created very interesting sales funnels to bring in only the type of customers or clients they're looking for. And all these systems that are out there are all just for one thing, to drive efficiency. So technologies are being used for the sole purpose of making money and also improving systems. So the digital economy becomes central to global growth. You know what I mean? It's not just about the big corporations that I spoke of initially, the banks and the, I spoke of banks initially, but I also corporations. Yes, it has come down to you and I. Okay, initially it started with family. A PC was a family thing, but now the PC became a thing of everybody. Everybody can own some kind of PC, a laptop, or a tab. Okay, it moved from there. Now everybody has a phone, and your phone does pretty much what the PC does. I want you guys to look at some of the devices you're carrying. They're more powerful than the PCs you have. A lot of people have very beautiful Dell PCs that are costing close to $1,200 and more. But take a look at some of the latest iPhones that are coming out and compare the system resources. You'll be surprised. Look at what Samsung is. I'm not trying to promote anybody's device here. No, I'm just saying, just take a look at what the resources of some of the phones that you're carrying out there. They're more powerful than the PCs you're doing your regular jobs on. So what does that tell you? That you can take advantage of that gadget right there. Okay, use it more of a tool than just an answering machine or a communication tool. There's way too much, and you can start running a business, and leverage the technologies that have come due to these digital era, and why we call it the digital gold rush. Okay, you've all heard of the gold rush. There was gold here in California. I wasn't here, but I learned about it. I've read about it. I've watched some movies about the gold rush. People were leaving all this. I mean, people from all sorts, from all states in the West were rushing to California because there was gold here and there were mines here. It was the gold rush. People invested money here, okay, to mine the gold, and they made a lot of money. A lot of people made money for themselves. Companies made money for themselves. There were heavy investments going on. It was such a beautiful phase, and the world lives to tell a story about it. Right now, as we speak, we do have the digital era. It has very interesting activities going on. We have artificial intelligence at a level you can't imagine. You can take advantage of it, even at the smallest level, as small as having a personal assistant. We have small things in the house that we use for very small tasks, but we could actually put to a bigger task, okay? If only we knew the power that's embedded in the technologies they carry, okay? Right behind here, I have a very old Alexa box, okay? This old Alexa box you see here in my office is actually a personal assistant as well. I use this Alexa. I talk to Alexa all the time to do things for me, to remind me of tasks, to do all sorts of things. I do a bit of research of it because I can speak to it. I don't have to type. I can only speak to it. You have some artificial intelligence here. You have Siri in these phones. You can talk to Siri. Okay?
Even Google.
You can talk to Google. I spoke of Alexa because Alexa does more than just talk and do a personal assistance. Alexa turns off my lights and turns off my lights.
Okay.
Oops, Alexa, I did ask you to turn off my light, but Alexa, turn on the light.
Okay.
So there you are. All I was saying is that you can take advantage of these technologies. See what can you do and take advantage of it. Leverage off of the technology. Social media. Dorothy, there's something very important I would like to point out, bring out.
Okay, that is yours.
And I would like to pick your mind on this for the good of the people that watch us out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do a digital business, okay? Every day when you talk to people about start your own digital business, it will give you the flexibility of income, okay? Because you're your own boss. But besides that, there's the flexibility of time that you get to decide when and how you use your time, okay? As key components of going digital. When people hear digital, they say, what am I going to be doing? Okay, digital. What is
Some of
digital?
them, they think digital is crypto.
So, exactly. So when you say digital, the first thing that goes to their mind,
It's
cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Are we selling cryptocurrency? So digital again. They'll say
A
multi.
disclaimer, guys, in our business, it's not a
MLM. Yes, they're gonna say MLM, multi-level marketing. They think
marketing. Yes.
for
Mhm.
friends and family to come and join some kind of a pyramid or something. I would like to tell you, wherever you are out there, that going digital or starting your own online business doesn't necessarily mean, yes, crypto is a digital business,
Yeah.
but crypto doesn't define digital businesses. Okay? It's just one of those things that you can do digitally because it's a digital currency. So it's something you do using digital technologies.
Digital technologies. Mhm.
But there's way too much. You can decide to do digital business selling books, phones, or anything. Okay.
Yeah.
So
As long as you're going to make your sales through digital technologies, you're going to use those technologies to drive your traffic, or what we call customers. Instead of you looking for them, you get when they are the one looking for you. The way iPhone doesn't the iPhones, they don't look for you. The owners, or they're not looking for you to buy it. You are the one looking for it. So they are using the digital technology to do that. You can go ahead, David.
Yeah. So pretty much we're saying that leveraging digital technologies means understanding what's around you digitally and how you can take advantage of it. In as far as work is concerned, okay, you can make a living, meaning you can start a business. You can choose on whether it's going to be a traditional business, and you know what that takes. Or you can choose to start with some little money and do a digital business, because it doesn't take as much startup capital to do a digital business than it would to do a traditional business. And that's what we are telling you, that leverage off of these technologies and find something digital, find something you can do. using the online systems. If you can't find one, you can go to my bio or go to Dorothy's bio, anywhere you're watching me from, and take a look at what's there. Click on a link. There is a link. It will give you, it will take you to a website. And on this website, that's the beginning of your understanding of what we do, okay? Enter your name and email. There's a 20 minutes video. It will explain our version of the digital business we do. And then from there, you can call and ask as many questions as you want and see if it's something you're cut out to do. If it's not, we are saying there's so much out there, okay? But you owe yourself the task to do that due diligence, to find out, rather than hear it from me or hear it from Dorothy. You owe yourself a due diligence to find out what the digital space has to offer and how you can take advantage of it. Dorothy, if you have anything to add on or comment, the floor is...
Oh, thank you so much. Because of time, I don't think I'm going to even talk that much. But thank you so much, David, to give us at least a background. You know, actually, the reason as to why we decided to come up with such a topic, it's because we are lucky on our show. We have a person who has 25 years of experience in IT, cybersecurity. So that means this person he has been in technology. So he has been seeing things changing, you know, from post office to email to social media to, you know, to the digital platforms today. To me, I could say that it's all about you who is watching us right now to get a smart framework, or what I can call a roadmap or a Google map for yourself, you know, because you can see, according to the history of digital, how it changed. You said in between 2010 to today, right?
2010.
It is now not affecting only business owners, but it is affecting you as a person, because if the AI is taking over, it means where your employer needs 100 people, he's going to need 5 people. So it's affecting you when it comes to, you know, your jobs. If you're still living paycheck, if you're still an employee. So
actually, Dorothy, that reminds me of something that I experienced the very first days I'd started work here in San Francisco. I remember supporting a gentleman. He was an elderly, okay, nice guy, in his senior years. He was he had really slowed down. I don't know, but he was spending most of his day on his bed. Okay, this nice gentleman spending most of his day on his bed. He wasn't sick, he was just elderly. He called me, he found me, and he wanted to take, he wanted help, but he wanted consulting to begin with. He called me and said, I'm consulting on something. I said, okay. I would like to digitize my home. I said, okay. I was like, yeah, I want you to tell me if you have a solution for my, was it the, it wasn't a garage door. It was a gate. It was a gate, front gate. He said, I want a solution for my front gate. I want to be able to open the buzzer. The front gate has a buzzer. When you press on a button, it's supposed to buzz the house, and then he will tap a button, and the lock will open from the house. The lock will open so you can get through the gate. You know what I mean? Simple technology. There's a bell, a doorbell, some kind of a doorbell. You press it. You press it. You talk to him. He presses the buzzer and it unlocks the door so you can walk in. But because he was bedridden, he wanted to use technologies to be able to control that button and open the gate without moving. So when I thought about it, I was like, okay, how do we do this? At that time, I'd known of Alexa. Of course, I'd known of Alexa. I knew that you can talk to Alexa. If you can talk
I'm
to
not quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh God. Now better turn off your Alexa because it's gonna distract us.
Let me disconnect Alexa for a minute.
Yeah, it's gonna interrupt.
So I knew I could talk to Alexa. So I devised and looked for a small module. I bought it from China. I had to order for it, a small module. I ordered for a module that I added to the button in his house. And that module would respond to Alexa. I could add that module to the Alexa setup. Alexa could read it. And then through that module, if he's sent out a command for Alexa to open the gate, this module would then activate the button to trip the door lock. So it was a simple technology, but I realized that anything you can think of,
it is doable.
It's doable. That's what this world here has shown me. That if you can perceive it in your mind, it's achievable. You can achieve it. And some of these things don't take a lot of thinking. But for somebody to look for a particular solution, it kicks your mind moving in a certain direction to give them a solution, because that's what you do. So I thought about it. I said, give me a day or two. Let me think about it. I'll call you with some kind of a solution and we'll try it. He was ready. He was open to trials. He had his money, but he wanted some solutions. I said, okay, give me some time. I'm going to think through it and think of some technologies to apply, and we'll try it out. If it works, well and good. If it doesn't, we'll try something else. He was like, oh, okay, David, I'm with you. And we tried it, and it worked. And it just activated everything. We said, okay, now I want to put on my lights. I want to put on this. One thing opened up Pandora's box for him, and it just activated the entire house for something. Okay, how do we draw the curtains? How do I do this? How do I do that? I was living with his brother, so he just wanted to reduce the time for his brother to also live his life. But I think he wanted these technologies to help. So what am I saying? For caregivers, people that are doing caregiving, you think you're going to need somebody, besides you all the time to help out. People are using technology. So this is what I'm saying. Is that it's affecting you, like it or not, and it's here. You can only take advantage of it. You know, how do you leverage it? You can leverage it in business. You can leverage it in the way you live your life at home. You can leverage it many ways. You know, so that was the first time I actually used that technology to help. And it, of course, Alexa is a thing now. Everybody uses Alexa, or there's technologies to control many things, because IoT is easier controlled with these kinds of boxes. But I saw that you can apply IoT even on things that are not pre-built to take IoT. Like the guy's gate. It wasn't built to take IoT.
But then you had to fix it.
IoT, yeah. But there you are, you leverage that kind of technology to help you in so many areas. So digital is not just about crypto and multi-leveled marketing. No.
As long as you have a business, even this pen, you can have a business of pens and you can leverage it on media platforms or online platforms or digital technology, digital platforms. So as we close, I think everybody in life, whatever David discussed or submitted, for me as Dorothy, I believe people should have a smart framework or get a Google map for your life, for yourself, for your destination. You see, I'm from Africa, from Uganda, but to be honest, even the pilots, they have Google map, right? They have that direction where they're going. So if you do not have a direction, and the direction where I told you that it has to be a smart framework, it's because your map, it's all about how the world is changing. So that means you have to change with the world. If you don't know digital, if you cannot use or leverage media platforms or digital platforms or the technology, trust me, one day, one time, it is coming for you the way COVID came for us. Because this is where the world is going. A lot of people, they are losing jobs. I know a nurse here. He looked for a job for over 4 months, and this person couldn't get. I know some of you nurses, you are there, you even going and get these, LVN shifts, but you are an RN. What does that tell you? What does that mean? So it means things are changing. You need to get your roadmap. You need to get your Google map and then put your Google map, like specifically, clearly define what you want to achieve. Because whatever you want to achieve, you will achieve it, because once the world is changing and you're not changing with it, it means you don't have your Google map in place. You need to get the right direction. Sit down, specifically, like specify, clearly define. What I want you to do is like clearly define what you want to achieve. You're going to find out that your dream life, you've been dreaming to be in a better life, all those greener pastures. If you're an immigrant like me, that's where you left your beautiful country. But unfortunately, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, what you want to achieve, you haven't even reached on a quarter. Year 6, you still dreaming better life. You're still chasing your dreams, but you don't have a Google map for yourself. How are you going to get there? Let us be realistic. However, if it is, as I mentioned, that it has to be a smart framework, it has to be measurable. Make sure you can track your progress with tangible outcomes. So if you are working tirelessly, living paycheck to paycheck, can you hear me?
Sorry, Dorothy is struggling with our technologies, but we're trying to wind up. And she was talking about smart goals. Have yourself some kind of a roadmap to your goals, and have some kind of a roadmap. Smart goals, achievable, reasonable, Give me a second. Give us a minute. Dorothy should be back. So anyway, to kind of piggyback on what Dorothy was saying, you need some kind of a roadmap. You need to understand what you would like to achieve and where you would like to be, and then draw some kind of, have some kind of a plan that's understandable, executable, and that's what's the other one? That's trackable. You should be able to track your progress. You should be able to track your progress as you go along, so that you know whether you're moving in the right direction or you're actually stagnant. And besides that, I believe that doing the due diligence in whatever it is that you think is digital or is the way forward for you is key. So any opportunity you have to learn more about an opportunity or about a business, take it and make an informed decision. And, because there's a lot that we miss by not knowing exactly what it is that, we are getting into. You hear digital business, and because you're in your mind, you think it's crypto or you think it's multi-leveled marketing, because that's what people have been, or a lot of the people are doing. It becomes a bit of a challenge, so you end up missing the opportunity and, lose a chance to do something for your life. With that, ladies and gentlemen that are watching us, I would like to end this here. I'm sorry that Dorothy hasn't been able to finish up with us, but I can see in the comment section, Dozy, regards wherever you are. You're watching us from Boston. Thank you for showing up. I'm not going to read so many. I see here Balamusiza Mukristo Munabudu. Wherever you are, Sebo, Tukulamusiza. Thank you for showing up. We do have something from Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Digital marketing is taking over, so a smart mind should take advantage of it. Yes, you don't have the computer knowledge. You start learning from some point. Yes, Sarah, you have to start from somewhere. We are not all good at the things we do in life. We have been taught, or we have taken some first step towards learning, and that's how we become better. Okay. I never knew how to speak on social media or be out here talking to people about things, because we all have our phobias and worry of what we're going to say and how people are going to perceive us. But you learn, okay? You start by doing it. It's the willingness. You start by doing it. Go out there, teach people something, you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with technology because that's what I do for a living. And I said, you know what better ideas or topics to share than those in technology, because that's what I understand. And by doing that, I became comfortable to talk in front of this camera. So I talk to my camera and my camera streams to you. And that's how you get the message. So yes, Sarah, thank you very much for that. Guys, thank you for coming. We'll see you again next week around the same time, 2 p.m. PST, which is 5 p.m. Eastern time. And I think 10, is that 10 o'clock GMT? Okay. Thank you for showing up, and bye-bye.